everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, welcome. You came at a perfect day because anytime I upload a video, it's a perfect day. You know, I've been busy when I upload a video. Also, now that I think of it, I only upload a video like once a week now, so I'm busy once a week. Today's video is completely different. Well, not too different from my previous video. My previous video was a review on Olivia Rodrigo's album Sour. Today's video is also a music related video, but a completely different music related video. I know this video might be coming out late, but if my hunch is correct, I don't think the festivities are over just yet. I think they just begun. We are going to be talking about Lady Gaga's second, some say it's her third, some say it's her second, I say it's her third studio album, Born This Way, which just celebrated its 10-year anniversary this past Sunday. I want to look back at the time, I want to reflect on it, I want to reflect the impact it has had on pop culture. I also want to reflect on the impact the record had on me when it first came out, because when it first came out, I was 12 years old. I was 12 years old, and a lot has happened from when it came out to where I am right now. So I want to take a deep dive. I want to take a look back and remember and reminisce that time in our lives. So if you want to see that video, then keep on watching. I mean, if you remember back in the day, Gaga was all over the place. Gaga was all over the place. She was outrageous. She was avant-garde. She was crazy. She was insane. She was the kind of artist that you didn't know what she was going to pull up her sleeve tomorrow. You didn't know how she was going to look, or who she was going to look like, or what she was going to do. She was a very elusive, alluring, and very mysterious artist at the time. I mean, now when you think of Gaga, you think of House Laboratories, you think of A Star Is Born, you think of House of Gucci, you think of the Oscars, you think of a legend, you think of an icon. But back in the day, Lady Gaga was this brand new up-and-coming artist who was so outrageous, so over the top, so out of this world that people just lost it. They lost it, and they lost their minds. They lost their brains over everything she was doing. She was somebody who definitely voiced her opinions very early on in her career, and I think she solidified the trend of voicing your opinions. Some people probably should not be voicing their opinions because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. When Born This Way came out, it shocked people, and it made waves across the world, across the universe, across the Milky Way galaxy. It was the kind of record that impacted so many people in such profound ways, to the point where it saved people. It literally saved people, and it helped people, and it made people feel more welcomed and embraced and accepted and loved and valid. And it was an album, and more specifically, it was a song that impacted so many people's lives. For me personally, it was the first time I ever heard in the song gay, bi, lesbian, transgender. It was the first time I ever heard that in a song, and I think, I don't have my facts completely correct, but I think Born This Way is the first ever song to say the word transgender in it, which just blows my mind that nobody ever said that word in a song. But that was the first song ever to say the word transgender in it, which is just crazy, and it's insane, and it just goes to show the level of impact that that song had on the world. And then, you know, flash forward to the record. The record was also impactful, not just sales wise, but pop culture wise. It was a phenomenon. It was a cultural reset. It was literally a cultural reset and a cultural impact of biblical proportions. No pun intended. Actually, full pun intended. Some parts of the record definitely toy around with religious imagery, which got her into some heat with the Catholics when she released the Judas video on Easter Sunday. She released the music video on Easter weekend, and it definitely caused a stir with some of the Catholics, which we love. And overall, the record, you know, when you first hear the record, if you take the record at face value, it sounds all over the place, because you've got some ballads, you've got some rock songs, and you've got some really, you know, upbeat pop songs, and you've got some darker songs, and you've got, you know, some really beautiful, soulful ballad like You and I, and then you've got something really avant-garde like Heavy Metal Lover. You got something more rock like Bad Kids. You've got something a little bit more Latin American infused like Americano. You have a lot of things in this record, but you know, when you really deep dive into the record, when you deep dive into the meaning of the whole record and the premise and the powerful message behind this record, you really start to understand, and you really start to learn that this record is completely about individuality, and it veers and it focuses and it explores different forms of individuality, from, you know, somebody who isn't accepted as a kid to somebody who is, you know, on their last minute of life, to somebody who is dealing with trauma, to somebody who can't really come to terms with their own acceptance, with their own sexuality, to somebody who, you know, is a rebel, somebody who isn't like the other people, to people who are conflicted between one or the other. It's a very beautiful record, and it's quite to the masterpiece. I take a look back at the time and I look at where we're at now, and I can see the many different references to Born This Way that there are in pop culture now. I mean, that record solidified her as an artist, but it also changed the way so many people wrote and so many people expressed themselves artistically, because, you know, back then, 2011, you know, most male artists weren't as confident and as in tune with their femininity as some male artists are now. And also at the time, there was very few open and out people in the music industry. There wasn't as many as there are now. I mean, now now we're at a point where we don't even know who somebody is, and I kind of like that. I think Lady Gaga had a huge impact in how the world views artists now, especially how the world views male androgynous artists now. And, you know, I think the music industry has to thank her for that. They have to thank her for how embracing a lot of people are, for how open and for how accepting people are now in the world, because of her work on Born This Way and because of the message she spread, not just with the record or with the song, but with the many other things she did after the record. It's an impactful record that 10 years later still resonates with so many people and still bears the same profoundness and the same message and the same, you know, message of acceptance and the same impact it has on people. It still bears that impact to this day, and it will continue to bear that impact for another 10, another 20, another 30, another 40 more years to come. Personally, I only ever had one Born This Way shirt when I was 12 years old. I don't have it anymore. I don't know where it is. I think it probably ripped or something, but I've been hearing that she's releasing new merch for Born This Way, so I'm definitely gonna get myself something. I'm excited. I can't wait. I never went to the Born This Way ball. In fact, I've never been to a Gaga show. Can you believe that? I've never been to one of her shows. I'm like hoping if the Chromatica ball does happen that I can go, but it's like in the air, just like everything right now. Anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys took a little tour down memory lane with me, and if you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up and comment down below, you know, did the record impact you in any way, or what are your thoughts on the record 10 years later now? I would love to know. And as well, subscribe, because I've got some videos planned for next week that I am so excited about. I've got some things up in the works that I've been working on for quite a while, so I want you to be here. I want you to stick around. Definitely subscribe, and I will see you next time for another video. Goodbye.